How's everybody? Well, we got some cold weather lately. It's been below freezing. It's a little snow on the ground. It's not that much though. Hopefully we will have a few more days before it gets too heavy. Ooh, this coffee is hot. Hey, could you bring me a coffee cup so I can put it in this, some of my coffee in a cup? Well, how's everybody doing? Hey, wifey. The more people who like the live, the further out it goes. So if you try to like the live, it will help bring up views. Thank you.
No.
So like usual, we have coffee tonight. It's got a fresh pot on. So. Yeah, so my foot's healing. It's about halfway, I'd say halfway healed. For those of you who didn't know, Friday 2 weeks ago, I cut my big toe about 3/4 way off with a chainsaw. And it's been slowly healing, so. You gotta be careful not to bump it, or it really hurts. Otherwise, it's all right. So how's it going in your guys' area? Like I said, here we're cold, below freezing, got some snow on the ground. David Miller stopped in today to visit. Had a good visit. Well, it's 4 people on, but no comments yet. Let's see. Not kind of fright. Clayton's here. Mickey Twister. Hey, how you doing? No snow in Lower Michigan. Yeah, we have. I'd say it isn't that deep, but we still have snow on the ground. Well, Mick Twister, I just got on, so hasn't been that long. I had posted live, and then it seemed like it didn't post, so I don't know what happened. Well, if anybody needs potatoes, we've still got potatoes in the ground that need to be dug, but the ground's going to be so hard frozen I can't dig them soon. I've been so busy. I can't get them all dug. Yeah, we got 50 5-gallon buckets already dug in the basement, but there's more out there yet. Yeah, the beets are about gone, Dix. The goats have been eating them beets up. Them goats have little red faces. They're eating the red beets. Seems they sure like them. I think next year I'm going to try to plant sugar beets and mangos and see if we can use them for cow food. The old Siberian permafrost, if you can dig them, if you can dig them, you deserve them by that point. Yeah. No, I think actually, as long as it doesn't freeze too deep, though, the potatoes that are under the ground will be all right. It's just that we had about, I'd say it's close to 50, probably 15, could be up to 20 buckets still in the ground. I just can't, I've been so busy working on the house, I didn't get all the potatoes done. Yeah, it was racing trying to get that house covered. And see, it was Friday 2 weeks ago, I cut my toe. And then Monday, the county I think his county inspector stopped in and tried to give me a stop work notice, telling me I can't work on the house because I don't have a building permit. And I told him, well, I'm going to go on working. He tried to give me the paper and I wouldn't take it. And he said it's going to go to the prosecutor's desk. I do not understand why they want to stop someone from building. He says because I didn't get permits. Well, it's my property and it's my lumber. I know if I got an inspector, they would say I'd have to have state inspected lumber to pass inspection. And with my own home sawed lumber, it wouldn't pass inspection anyhow. So I suppose they just give you a fine. I don't know, but I plan to go on working. And if they arrest me, hopefully they won't. But if they do, yeah, that short I posted is a reshort from one I did last year. I decided to repost it because I realized some of the shorts I have on here, if I repost them, I think they could do pretty good. You mean Medina with the building permits? Temporary permits? No, here the county took the Amish to court, and the Amish won not to use permits. So, I don't know. I would suppose I fall under the Amish. Well, I'm not a member of the Amish church anymore. I'm a banned Amish man, and I'm hoping the prosecutor will just ignore the case. And if they do take me to court, I need to talk to the Amish and see what they did, because I know the Amish won the case when they got taken to court by the county. It's just sad that the county, people. What he said was people were complaining to the county commissioner. They did, and the county commissioner had told me he was going to leave me alone, and I believe what happened is he waited till I had it boxed in and then sent the guy out. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. I mean, he could have come out a whole lot earlier. Now they had I think it might have said the last live stream. There was a certified letter that came in the mail, which I wasn't there to pick up, and they had left a notice. And I had seen it was from Chippewa County, and I figured it was probably something to do with the house, so I just ignored it. And then when the paper came, it said it was dated that I was supposed to stop work on or before the 8th of November. And he came in on the 21st, 22nd. So that letter was most likely the first time they tried to stop me from working. How the heck do they even get eyes on you anyhow? Do they get your neighbors to say on you, or are you the fences? I don't know. I'm not sure who's complaining. They claimed that someone was complaining about me building without a permit. They don't tell you who it is ever. Well, Bob Brown's the county commissioner, and he said that he was going to ignore me. And then about the time I get it boxed in comes the inspector. But he didn't inspect the house. He didn't go in. He didn't go to the house. So hopefully it will stay like it is, and the prosecutor will ignore the case and not prosecute me. But we'll see what happens. If they do, like I said, we'll have to deal with it. I don't plan on, hopefully, not having to comply with that. I feel like there's an extent where the law goes too far. Regardless of your religion, you're building your house on your own property, producing your own property that you own, no permit required. I would think so too. I mean, to me, it's like, I don't owe money on the place. I don't have insurance on the place. And I already know the way my house is being built, they would condemn it anyhow. Like I said, it wouldn't pass inspection because it's not certified lumber. And the Michigan law states that house must be built with lumber that's stamped by a state certified lumber mill. So because I'm using my own lumber, I know it wouldn't pass anyhow. So it's really pointless to try to go and even start the process because they're not going to pass it anyhow. Now they said usually how they enforce this is that when you want to get your electricity, you ask for the hookup, and then the electric company asks for your permit, and they won't give you the hookup until the permit's shown, right? It's not even about your property could hurt others as forest fire hazard. It looks pretty clean to me. It's your land. So forest fire hazard?
Is that it's not even as if your property could hurt anyone as a forest fire hazard.
Oh, yeah. Looks pretty clean to me. Yeah, I try to keep it clean. I mean, we had the house burned down. See, I'm not really building on. I'm building on an old, basically rebuilding a house. So the house has been here before. But the way it works, I heard, is if you want electricity, they're going to
Let Anna do permit.
Right. I don't really see why they're worried about it. Because first of all, I'm not getting electricity. I don't have insurance. Hey, Johnny, you need to be a little quiet so I can hear better. Well, they can hear better. Sorry, guys. We're not gonna have electricity. We're not gonna have insurance. So the insurance companies would insure the house because it doesn't have certified lumber, and most likely it doesn't have enough windows. Or most likely they'd say, who knows what they'd find on it. But I'm pretty sure they would insure it, which I don't plan on insuring it. But I think it's like, in England, you can't put a window in without permission from the council. And if you want to cut a tree down or plant a tree or build a shed, you have to ask permission from the council. I don't want America to get like that. And I think we should keep in mind that even though we are paying taxes to live on our own land, which is basically we're serfs to the state in a sense, we still should maintain the right to build on our land.
Can I have your share, please?
My share? What's the limit to share? All right. Yeah, in England, I went over there. I was going to move to Scotland. That was my plan. And I realized they don't have a lot of rights. Now, out on the islands, Shetland and Orkney, they get away with a lot of the laws of England are not enforced. So the councils in the islands will overlook the law. But if you followed the law, you would have to ask permission for everything. I mean, even before you dig a hole, you'd have to go ask the permission from the they'd have to come out and inspect it and look at it, approve of it, take it through a meeting possibly. And it gets to the point where you have no freedom to operate. And they want everything they do, they want fees for, obviously, right?
No.
So it's a method of making a lot of money.
You have your paper. No.
Yeah. No trespassing sign. Yeah, I don't have a no trespassing sign up, but I have 2 gates. I built those gates to keep people like that out, but my wife had motioned for him to come in through the gate. I don't know if he would have come in if she had told him to come in. I don't know.
I didn't know who it was.
No, any friends are welcome to come in anytime. But I have the gates to kind of dissuade people from just driving in. It's funny how many people won't pass a gate. There's a lot of neighbors will say they won't come in because they don't like our gates. Which, if they want to come in bad enough, they can open the gate. No, I'm not Amish anymore. I haven't been Amish for 17 years. I got banned 17 years ago. Well, see, I wish we could do that. This whole land tax thing is a racket because You know, back when the Civil War started, it started over the very issue of land taxes. Because the way I understand it, in the 1812 war, the colonies had taken out a loan from the European bankers to pay for the war. And they had put the 13 colonies' land up as collateral against that debt. So they were taxing the people on a tax to pay the debt, or to pay the interest on the debt, so to say. Well, the debt came due 70 years later, and Abraham Lincoln was president, and they couldn't afford to pay it. And so the bankers told the Abe Lincoln that if they want to extend the loan, then they're going to have to give the southern land as collateral against the debt as well, which means all the people in the South would have to pay land tax and incorporate. And the South said, no way, we ain't doing it. And that's what started the separation between North and South. It was over land rights and state rights. And a lot of people, they think it's over slavery. And I said, absolutely not, because when it started, the North had slaves too. And the Emancipation Proclamation didn't come out till 4 years after the war had started. They had the argument was basically over the rights of people to own land. And like in Belize, I like the way they had it there, because if you were a farmer, you had 25 acres that was yours, it was freehold. They didn't tax you on it. You could build whatever you wanted, and they didn't bother you. But over 25 acres, they taxed you $3 per acre. And I like that because if you say you couldn't pay your taxes, you wouldn't lose your land. You wouldn't lose your home. And here, if you can't pay your taxes, you'll lose your land. And, you know, here too, a lot of our taxes in this county, half the taxes in our county go to the schools. And our children aren't going to go to schools. I never went to school. My wife didn't either. So we're paying for their school system, which I don't think we should be. But enough people would have to come together to change this. And it seems like enough of people aren't interested in it. So, I mean, and for people who make a lot of money, it's no big deal. But for us, it's like land taxes are high. We have to save all the extra money we have to pay our land taxes. And if you're only making, we don't average a lot of money in a year. And so it does take a lot of money to pay them taxes. Yeah, see, I was only, my mom homeschooled us, and I went to 8th grade, and then I quit. And some of my brothers and sisters, they went on and got graduated, whatever. I didn't need to. I feel like I can learn more on my own than going to a school. I started reading by the time I was 8. I could read pretty good, and I read a lot. And I learned a lot from old timers. You know, when we were in Missouri, my parents moved to Missouri, and we were living out in Northwest Missouri. I would go and hang out with the old guys, and I learned a lot from them. And I went to the Amish, I learned a lot. So I feel like the best learning you can get is learning from other people and by doing. I mean, you can read a book. I got my GED, can't remember most of it now anyway. Oh, dicks. You learn a lot from doing it from other people, and it's the best way to learn. I mean, just reading a book isn't always, how would you say it? It can help, but it's not always the best. Most of the things I learned in life, I learned by doing. And today, I would argue and say most of the school systems teaching a bunch of stuff they don't need to know anyhow. I mean, half the history of our teaching's been modified, or they don't teach all of it. They tell the kids what they want them to know, and then you get kids that are servants to the system, the state. And I don't like that. I mean, in America, we have some freedoms, but we're not as free as people like to pretend we are. I mean, pretty much every country that's under the U.S. Control, they control the governments through money, the IMF, the International Bank, through either sanctions or handouts. You know, like they'll say, if you don't do what we want, we're not going to give you your money, and then the people will. I mean, I watched in Belize 3 times. The U.S. forced Belize basically to change their law because of by threatening to withdraw funding, and because the government wants their funding, they didn't want they complied. I mean, the first time it was a marriage age. They wanted to change. See, the age in Belize was whatever the father said, or 14, and then they wanted to change it to 17, I think. So they did, but then the Mayans got an exemption that they could do what they wanted, and that didn't cause much of a fuss. But then they tried to change the gay laws in Belize, because so in Belize it was illegal to be homosexual, punishable by law. And then Obama come in and said, hey, you can't do that, you got to change it. And so they did, and a lot of people got very angry about that. So basically the U.S. is forcing its policy on other nations through means of the International Bank, International Monetary Fund, debt, or handouts. No, the high schoolers, I don't think would know that because they're always told it was over slavery. Most of them anyhow say that when you ask them. It wasn't slavery, it was over land rights. And then slavery was brought into the issue to bolster support for the North, I believe. What gets me is the whole idea of slavery being, slavery's been around for a whole long time. And today, we're all slaves to the government in a way. I feel like after the Civil War, the stage was set for the enslavement of the whole population to the banks. That's basically what's happening. And by printing the money like they are, they're robbing us, taking away our buying power, and keeping people in bondage. I mean, if you could make a living, go back, say, to the 80s, and we had the same buying power we had in the 80s, how many people would be better off? But because of the printing money, like they do, and the welfare state, it brings about a system that's just simply not conductive to freedom. A lot of people say they want more handouts. I said, the more handouts they give, the worse it's going to get. I don't think it's going to get better by handouts. That's why I try so hard not to be in the system, not take the handouts, And the way we live, the amount of money I make, I could easily get money from the government, handouts and WIC and all that. But I say the thing is, I don't want to be in that system. I want to be a free man. And I think it's important we focus on the fact that our freedoms are slowly being taken away. And the more people who are in bondage to banks, the less people are free. Someone was about individual state rights. Federal government wasn't as big as it is now. States more important, had more freedoms. Yeah, it was state rights. And we see what happened after the war. They implemented the taxation of the land. The U.S. has more than collapsed under its own weight. The U.S. could split into several separate countries pretty soon, I think. Oh yeah, it wouldn't take much at this point to bring about a major breakup because the grid system's so unstable. It would take a very small, either focused attack on the electric grid, or EMP, or a big earthquake, and then the whole system would go down because people are so reliant upon electricity, they don't have a way of surviving without it. And I'm worried that the way people are, I heard it said that they're like hatchery chicks, and they are. I mean, I think if most of them were taken off their electric, they would all be in trouble. And I'm not saying electric's evil. I'm just saying I think we should think about that. We should try to be independent, have a way of living independently from the system. So if it does collapse, we're able to survive instead of being tied to a system that is so unstable. At this point, it seems like it hasn't happened that much, so people don't think much about it. But it's always sitting in the back of my mind. I for some reason, it just, ever since I was a little boy, Dix, would you please? They're being a little noisy.
They're fussing over the shaft still.
You guys, hey.
Go see my dad. Right? You're gonna have to go outside if you don't stop. I'll probably go up to the man.
No, it always sticks in my mind the way that
no more.
If right now the power grid went down, could we survive? And I really want to be able to survive without it. I think it's didn't Jordan Maxwell bring light to how to become a sovereign American? I don't know. I never looked into it. My dad, at one time when I was a boy, he was looking into that sovereign citizenship thing. I don't remember. I was too young to remember it, so I don't remember all the I don't remember all the particulars. I just tried my best to stay out of the system. I didn't really like, how would I say it? Tried to stay out of debt. You know, not be in debt to a bank. Not engage in voting. It's like I don't register to vote. I mean, the thing is, we have cell phones. Somebody knows what I believe and how I live, basically. And I get that. But hopefully, there'll be enough people that are living. Your location managed about a grid collapse. Neighbor stands, best chance not. Oh. Yeah, I would think that's why I moved north, because I feel like up here, if there's a grid down scenario, I don't think many people are going to be trekking for the north, especially in the winter. They'll be heading south. And there's no really big cities around us. I would see the danger in the cities, in a grid down scenario where the cities would move out of the cities into the country and looking for food. That could be a serious problem. And, you know, it's not like at this point in time when things are good, you think most people are civilized. But through history, if you read it, you can see that people will do anything when they get hungry. At least a lot of them will. And it's important to keep that in mind, that I think you should have your own land to vote. And that would be a good idea, because if people who are landholders, just a bit, Diggs, Johnny, boy screaming. The Germans used to have a system where if you didn't have your own land, you weren't a freeholder, you couldn't vote in the tribe. So people who were freeholders had one vote in the council. Johnny! 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 That's you!
You sit down now. Another word. Another word, and you're really sorry.
Okay, now still. All right, now still. Okay. Now still. It's all right.
Shouldn't put on the bed first.
Be big enough. Was. Okay, you förstår. Ja, vad du kör still så här. Det är det. Was. Okay, då hugg då Anna. Hugg då Anna. Yeah. It's all right. The bitch met me now still. Hey. Say hi to the live stream. Say hi.
Hi.
It's not far from the U.S., but I think North America is a good move. I'm not funny. Or whatever. Yeah, and what I noticed is I think the way the Amish have it is a good idea too. And I would like to have a community. That is my goal in the future, to have a community of people who help each other, stand together. At this point, I don't see many people up here that are ready. We do have a prepper neighbor, but he's not exactly friendly. He's got a lot of guns. He shoots a lot. He's one of those guys. They call him lone wolf preppers, I guess. He doesn't seem to work with his neighbors very well. It's important. It's important in hard times you work with others. I mean, all through history it was that way. It means the difference between surviving and not surviving sometimes. I mean, what frustrates me is I've noticed on Google, a lot of the history is disappearing. That's not good. The Amish communities, I think they would survive better. But the problem is a lot of them don't realize that they don't have a way of defending themselves against raiders. They say they're non-resistant, which most of them would say that if they were attacked, they wouldn't attack back or wouldn't fight back. I doubt they would all keep that if it started collapsing, but we'll see. I mean, hopefully people won't overrun them too fast and take their food. I had once talked to an Amish guy about that, and he said that I said, what would you do if they came to get your food? I said, you give it to them. I said, it's a nice thought, but the worst part I have is without food you can't survive. I mean, I think we should probably help others the best we can, but that's why I think it'd be good to have a community that's working together before there's problems, and not wait till there is problems and then try to, find out who your neighbors are. Most of the people around here, surprisingly, I'm sure more people seek out communities in the north. And what I've noticed is when I try to talk people into coming up here, most people don't want to move north. They want to move somewhere else, south, and see, I had gone to Belize and started a community in Central America, and I found out the tropics, it's a lot harder to survive than you would like to believe. In my mind, I was like, I think, maybe it's like paradise. It's warm all year round. You can grow food year round, and well, it's not quite so clear cut. You got bugs to deal with. You've got people who steal, don't work. I think bugs were a big thing because here in the north we have a winter and the bugs die, and then in the spring we start back up again. And you have kind of clear cut seasons. You know when winter's coming. You gotta try to be ready for it. You gotta work hard, get ready, save your food, and then winter comes, and then the cycle starts again. Well, in the south, it was just the endless cycle of hot and cold, or dry and wet, and the bugs seem to just keep going right through all the cycles. So without, it was hard to grow most crops that weren't native to those countries without heavily spraying because of the bugs. Anna, come here. Come here, Anna. Medley. Come here. Come here, Anna. Sorry, guys, for noise. What is this? What's Anna? Come here, Anna.
She's ugly.
Hey, Medley, come to the Howdy live stream. Oh, okay. Come on. Want to say hi? Say hi. Oh, stop moping. Oh, she just said hi. There we go.
Hi.
No, I had a friend who said that Belize is like one green wing of hell. And in some ways, I don't disagree with him. There was a lot of things in Belize that were hard. A lot harder to survive than you thought it would be. It was a combination of different things, but I feel like in the north, it's easier to work. It doesn't get as hot. My body's more set to the cooler climates. I mean, the cold can kill you, but heat can kill you too. I almost died from overheating twice in Central America. And I didn't enjoy the heat. It made it hard to work. You get out there in the burning heat, and it was like, my, you just get so hot you couldn't work very well. I was down there for 10 years, and I thought every year it would get better, and it didn't. So moved back north again. And I can say I definitely enjoy the north better than the south. I feel better. So how you guys all do in your areas? If nothing wants to move north, that's better for me. North, I don't know the rest of the world.
Hi.
Yeah, it's. You want to say hi?
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Yeah, it's like I mean, up in this area, there's a lot of state national land. If you go, I think like 5 miles west of us, the national forest or state forest starts, and it goes about half the Upper Peninsula is under state forest, national forest. So there's a lot of land that's just empty. Lots of wood up here, plenty of firewood and lumber. And land prices are cheaper up here compared to the south. I mean, you can still get land a little cheaper. Yeah, most of my ancestors came from the north. My top line came from Denmark. Yeah, and Denmark is.
And again, hi.
You coming again? Say hi.
Hi. Hi.
Oops, see. There. Yeah, there she goes again. I noticed she likes to show off to the camera. She'll be making little faces whenever she figures she's on camera. David's a little shy to the camera usually. He'll try to hide from it, but she's more camera friendly, let's say, I guess.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
All right, they heard you now. It's funny how the kids are all different. They have little different attitudes. No, she can be quite the character.
Hi. Hi.
She always wants to go with me, and I tell her sometimes she can't, and she'll be all sad and whining about it.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. Hi.
Okay, that's good. Not say enough. Just say something else to live stream, okay?
Hi. Hi.
You say something.
Hi.
Say vi bisten du.
Du.
Så vi bisten du.
Bitten du.
Vi bisten du.
Bitten du.
I said, wie bist du? How are you? No, my wife, she doesn't speak very much German, but I speak German to the children, so they're learning both languages. I'm milling flooring right now. I've been I started cutting some flooring. Ziemlich gut. So, wo bist du means, I think in my German. Wo bist du means where are you? Yeah, wo bist du means where are you, but wie bist du means how are you? Wie. Now I can speak Pennsylvania German, Plattdeutsch, and High German. So I don't speak perfect High German though. I mean, I understand it pretty well, but so I'm milling for the floor right now. I started on that, and I probably got maybe 10 more logs before I have enough to do the floor. I've almost got the. I started working on. I was getting ready to build the stairs. Friday, yeah, and I couldn't find my tape measure, and I spent close to an hour and a half looking for it, and it turns out somebody had put it in the van. So, and my wife was gone, so she had the van. So I'm wandering around looking for that tape measure, and I get a lot of Renaissance medical German art and paintings on my Twitter feed. Forest scene, they're beautiful. Yeah. So, medieval. Oh, medieval. No, I like a lot of the old German painters. I don't, I can draw pretty well, but I don't spend much time doing it. Autocorrect. Yeah, that autocorrect. I'll tell you, they can really mess your sentences up if you're not careful. The funny thing is when you try to write in German, they can really mess it up. I've watched the subtitles when I'm talking in German, coming up with the subtitles. It's funny what the subtitles think you're saying. I'm trying to think of the. I lost my train of thought. Oh, it was the house. Tape measure. So see, she had gone to town to get some stuff, taking the van, and I was looking around that tape measure. Could not find it. Turns out somebody had put it in the van. So by the time she got back and David found the tape measure in the van, then your German dialect seems to be even particular as well. That really throws YouTube servers for a loop. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it does. See, the dialect we use is not like High German today. I talked to different German guys, said it's actually an old. It's a very old-modish, they say, altmodisch, old-fashioned German, which in German isn't spoken much anymore. Now, I was listening to some Texas German speaking, and I understand them just fine. So, someone said it sounds like Texas German. Pennsylvania German, I'd say, has a little more English in it than I think some people realize. What I had done is I wrote down the words to learn it. I wrote down the word as it sounds to me, and then I put the English word behind it. I'd read it every day. And there's a lot of words in the Pennsylvania German that are not German. They're either English or they don't match up with any German words we have in High German. So I don't know. It could be from a dialect, or it could just be words that were improvised over time. Now, Plattdeutsch, I'd say in general, the Plattdeutsch speak more German. Like, actually, the words are more dramatic than the Pennsylvania German. But I guess people could argue about that. Plattdeutsch is closer to English. From all the Germanic languages, I'd say Dutch. Dutch is probably closest to German. I mean, to English, as High German's a little further away. What? Oh, Johnny, where's... Okay, thank you. What?
Hi.
German, Russian skills, some Japanese skills in Russian alphabet, really something. Yeah, I'm trying to learn Russian, and for me, the Russian alphabet is the hardest thing for me, because in German and English, the alphabet is almost identical, and the letters the words, the vowels are a little different, and the letters, but overall, it's very similar. It doesn't take much to learn. But in the Russian, on the other hand, it can kind of mess your mind up. I can understand. I think I understand basic Russian at this point, although I have actually not spoken to like living Russian, and so I haven't actually been able to try out how good I actually am. It's probably like for me in Spanish. I understand Spanish a lot better than I speak it. So I was down in Central America for 10 years, so I did pick a lot of it up. Russia is based on Greek, the way English is kind of based on German. Well, I did find one thing interesting about German as I was looking at it. A lot of the loan words in Russian are dramatic. So, words that the Slavic people took in later in time are actually dramatic words, especially Gothic words. That was interesting. That the Slavic people had adopted a lot of German words into their language. You guys, they all want to say hi.
Hi.
You guys, people are gonna get how you saying hi, you know. I can't read Greek. I had a Bible, Septuagint Bible, which I wish I could get another one in Greek. It was interesting. What?
Hi.
Well, you guys, my. They're all coming to the camera now. Now I think David's the only one who hasn't come. And here he comes. No, we don't celebrate Christmas, so yeah, I grew up without celebrating you guys any holidays, but and I don't really care for all the holidays myself, but I like to celebrate the winter equinox. You know, we have a good meal, and I try to keep track of the equinox and solstices. So every time it comes, spring, summer, fall, winter, we'll have a little have a little gathering or a meal. Okay, Anna. Okay. Well, my coffee's gone. Are you sure there isn't more hot water on the stove?
Hi.
Johnny says he sees David on the video.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sure the kids enjoyed your coffee. Oh, they like coffee. Especially David likes it. He when he was a baby in the hospital, he was born 3 months early. They gave him caffeine as a baby, and I think he liked coffee since he's been little. The other ones aren't quite as excited for it, but they'll drink it. But he loves it. He likes his coffee cup. Oh my! Everybody's trying to get on the camera. Sag etwas Schönes to the camera. Sag, wie heißt du? I think I was born 3 months early, something like that. 6 weeks. What? God bless. I was born 2 months early, and my David was 3, and then Johnny was, how old was Johnny? Johnny was 3 weeks early. Oh, Anna was on time. Okay, David. Okay. That's a lot. Yeah, hopefully one of these days we'll find up here a good midwife. Make it a lot easier. As far as I know, there isn't any up here. You guys.
It's a two.
Huh?
It's a two.
Uh-huh.
It's a two.
Well, I should probably let you guys go. If you guys got any questions, I'll try to answer them. If not, I'll... In 1999, I was born in 6 weeks, whatever. I was kind of pushing for the medical equipment at the time. Apparently, I look good. Everybody now. 1999. So you're younger than me. I was born in 1980. 1980. I was born in Inglewood, Colorado. I was born east of the Continental. Only one of my family born east of the Continental Divide. I was born on the east side of the Continental Divide. So. The rest of my family were born on the west side of the Continental Divide.
I.
All right, say bye.
I do. I.
Say bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
You guys all take care. See you later.
See you later. I can take care.